Started. Okay. Eva Taylor here from DIY Marketers, and there's always that 30 seconds at the start of a hangout where I keep waiting for the ding, and the ding doesn't come, and then I don't know if I'm live or not. But we are live here. Welcome to another episode of That Was Easy, and I'm here with Sarah Burke from Spokal. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Sarah has just come back from a wonderful trip over the holidays to Ireland, and we've just been chitty-chatting about that in the green room. Anything you want to say about your holiday, Ireland, being back in Vancouver, which is, I'm sure, very lovely this time of year?
Yeah, definitely go visit Ireland. It's awesome. It was lovely being back. It was just, it's not where you are, it's who you're with, and it was just lovely being back with my friends and family. And but I'm so excited to be back in Vancouver. I do love Vancouver as well. So yeah, I'm happy either way. You know.
Happy either way, and that's the right way to be. So it is early. Well, I shouldn't even say early. We are well into 2015, and I've been doing a lot of sessions that have to do with, how do I say, I'm curious about how many of you folks have your marketing plan set up, but whether you do or you don't, I'm sure that content is a big, big part of it. I don't think you can get away from doing anything in the marketing realm without creating content. And for those of us that are DIY marketers, it gets really overwhelming. Writing posts a couple times a week, putting the social out a couple times a week. And I'm a big, big advocate of scheduling and automating and doing all these kinds of things. So this is why I've invited Sarah to be with us. So Sarah, you're from Spokal. Talk a little bit about what you do there. What is Spokal? We'll come back to the details a little bit later in the program, but just kind of give people sort of an idea of, why we should listen to you.
Yeah, it's always really important to establish that at the start, definitely. So yeah, I work with Spokal, and that's just an inbound marketing automation software, but it's designed specifically for small businesses. So we're kind of compared a lot to HubSpot, which, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. We're easier to use than HubSpot, and we have definitely a better price point than HubSpot. But that's generally just to give you an idea. You agree?
Very much agree, because that's actually how I ran into you guys, right? Because every year I sit there and that's kind of how this whole conversation happened. Every year I evaluate systems. Every year I get to HubSpot. I love HubSpot. HubSpot is lovely. The only thing that isn't really lovely is the price point. And, there's a lot of other things I have at play that are like very, very similar. So like, it gets very confusing, Sarah. It gets very confusing. And for those people who don't know, maybe you can explain a little bit about what a content management system is, like what does HubSpot do, what are your choices, that kind of thing, and then kind of give us a rundown of what works in content management to drive traffic, leads, and sales.
Sure. So just content management in general, it's basically like a software that's going to help you market like the big guys. So the idea is that we're trying to even out the playing field, right? And with content marketing, there is just so many bits and pieces that you have to do. Like you said at the start, there is like creating content every week. There's the social sharing, there's outreach, there's curation, there's distribution, there's so much. And then the SEO and keywords, and you know what? It actually boggles the mind, and it's too much for a small business owner. It's just too much, and that's the simple truth. So content management systems basically try to get all these little bits and pieces into one spot, into one platform. So you don't have to go to 50 different places to manage your content marketing. It's just in one area. So
that's really good. It's really good, because I know I've got that Yoast SEO plugin, and plugins can be good and plugins can get really confusing, right? I mean, I've got Yoast for SEO. I've even got something called My Curator that goes out and collects posts that I've programmed for certain keywords to come and bring me posts so I can do curated content. Let's see, what else have I got? Oh, I use Social Loom for scheduling and automating my social shares, and I've got a plugin for a content calendar. So that's 4. Oh, wait, of course, then there's the list, right? There's something about connecting posts and lists.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm sure I've forgotten something, right? What else should we have?
Your editorial calendar.
Correct.
Yeah. There's just there is so much. So yeah, like for the likes of you, like you have that all set up. But when small businesses kind of come to content marketing, it's really overwhelming. You know, it's like, where do I even start? So places like Spokal kind of try to offer a solution for that overwhelming. Where do I start with this kind of feeling?
Right. So you definitely. So one thing, if you're a small business owner that's looking at creating more content. So, you know, Sarah, let me ask you this. So how is it that I put in the description, people really, really talk about it, but I don't think that people understand, hence the overwhelm. I don't think that people understand exactly how do you get leads and traffic from your content? How does that whole process work?
It's a big question. But what the point of content marketing and the point of creating content is to gain leads and traffic. But the first thing is you have to think about how people are going to find your content, and that's what keywords, and that's what SEO. The second thing is, why will people even read your content? And that's just about creating really engaging content. And then there's about creating CTA, so calls to action. So why are people going to give you their email address? Like, why would you? You know, I don't hand that out freely. So there's about creating really, really good CTAs so people will kind of keep in contact with you. So that's kind of like the 3 ideas that kind of come together to, you know, generate engagement and get people reading your content.
Got it. So what is it that people are actually, we talked a little bit about people being overwhelmed, and there's lots of tools, but when you talk to some of your customers and clients, what does it really, really look like for them before they choose a content management tool?
What does
life look like before they've chosen a content management tool?
Understood, yeah. A lot of the times we get people with WordPress.com websites, so it's just like a blogging platform. We get a lot of that, and you know, unless you're paying a lot of money, very, very limited what you can do with that. It's just, you can't have an e-commerce site with a WordPress.com website. You can't really have many widgets or plugins. It's just a very limited software. So a lot of people will come over to us and they're like, yeah, I have a blog. And you're like, okay, good for you. We need to take this somewhere else, though. So we get a lot of that, which is super easy. It's just about finding a host and migrating your .com over to your .org, which it's not too complicated. Or you get people who come up to you and they're like, right, I know I need a website. And you're like, yes, you do. You should get one. And then they go to a designer, you know, they go to Fiverr, they go to Elance or Odesk, and they get some freelance work done, and they get their website, and that's when we can, so they have a WordPress.org, and that's when we can take that website, and we can get them to use the Spokal plugin with it, and suddenly your website has turned into a content marketing machine. So that's kind of how that works.
And that's really, I would say, if you're oh, that was the other thing. You know, a lot of our, what kind of small business owners do you feel are really successful with your content management platform? Would you say that they're like services, consultants, retailers? I'm sure they're all over the board, but which ones do you find really get a lot of bang for their buck?
Yeah, it's a really big mix, and it just kind of depends on the person using it rather than what they're using it for, because as you know yourself, like with online marketing, anyone can do it. It can be a software, it can be a product, it can be a service, it can really be anything on online marketing, and it really just depends on the person behind it driving those sales and driving that engagement. So we have a huge mix of everything. I wouldn't even say that there's like much of a trend in either thing. Yeah. I would say it just depends on the person behind it and just how they use it.
Great. So let's talk about some best practices when you are using a content marketing strategy. What are some best practices about frequency of creating content? And also let's talk about social sharing, right? Because you mentioned there were three things, right? There's the content, there's the sharing, there's the searching, and I guess there's the, oh yeah, of course, the list, collecting a list. So I guess let's kind of talk about if someone really wants to get into content, you know, what's the relation, how does the content calendar work? Maybe we can just go into, since we're kind of talking all over the board, maybe you could just do a screen share and sort of show us what the system looks like and how it works.
Perfect. That's probably the easiest way.
Yeah, just how, you know, we've kind of talked about generalities. Let's just see it now.
Practice, right? So this is one of our test accounts, so that's why it looks so blank, just to let you know. Okay, so this, disappear?
It's here. I see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is what a content calendar would look like. And the idea is that you create content, and you're going to be able to easily drag and drop it into here.
Okay, now wait a minute. Now I see something, create big marketing for your small business. I did see a content calendar a second ago. Oh, now it's black. Oh, now I see you. So try the sharing again, and then I saw it like a second ago. You know what I mean? The first time you did it. There we go. I see it now. That's it.
Okay, yeah. So this is what the Spokal content calendar looks like anyways. Every content calendar looks really different. But this is what ours looks like. And it's simply a matter of when you create the content, when you create the content here, you'll go into the calendar, and it will appear here, and you simply just drag and drop it.
Now, are you on a Spokal website, or are you inside of a WordPress blog? Where are you?
So this is our Spokal test site. So let me just bring you to the dashboard. This is the very first thing you'll see when you come into it, right? So you go into getspokal.com and you log in, and you'll see this. And this is your website. It's completely connected with your website. So everything you do here will, once you publish it, will reflect on your website.
So you can work completely from the web. You can like publish articles from the web. You don't even have to be in WordPress, is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. For example, for me, when I'm doing content marketing for Spokal, the only time I ever have to go into WordPress is, let me see, it's if we get some comments to, you know, like confirm those comments, or to, you know, mark them as spam. I need to go into the back end of WordPress, or to widgets. If I want to, you know, edit some widgets or something, that's when I'd go into the back end of WordPress. But for the most part, I actually just work purely from the Spokal platform, which is this that you can see right in front of you.
So, you know, I see that there's a lot of opportunities for tracking things, which of course, you know, since people are coming up with their marketing plans, I bet they've got goals and things all set up. So why don't you kind of take us through, like, you know, what are contacts, visitors, I'm sure comes from like your Google Analytics or something, and these convert, kind of take us through some of these things on the platform. Or I mean on the dashboard.
Oh, sorry, you broke off there for a second.
Oh, did I? Yeah, I was going to say, take us through this dashboard, because it looks like, I love, you know, it looks like you could do a lot of tracking and measuring and like really make quick changes to drive your marketing, just based on what you see there.
Exactly, and that's what the dashboard is really aimed at, kind of getting small business owners who might not even understand how to track their work in progress. It's about putting that right in front of them every time they go in, so they can't ignore what they're doing, right? So the contacts here is, like you said, it's like how many contacts you're getting. So you'll have a call to action or you'll have a subscribe button on your website. And I can show you how to do that with Spokal in a second. And this will just show you how many contacts you've gotten over the last 30 days. Now,
that integrates with some, I would imagine, some email services. Which ones does that work with?
Yeah, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign. I'm not sure if we have Aweber or not yet.
That was a big thing because I use Aweber, and that was a big reason ultimately, because that's what I track, right? People that sign up, you know, calls to action, blah, blah, blah. So Aweber, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I believe Chris is working. I'm not on the technical side. I'm the content marketer. Right. And I will hands up say that I'm not good at this technical stuff, but I believe he is working on that. So yeah, with the contacts, we completely track every contact that you get. So it depends on the pricing plan how many contacts you'll get, but it's super easy to get extra. Like, it's really, really good price point even if you want to get extra. But we send all the data, like all the data, over to MailChimp and over to ActiveCampaign, and we actually score your leads as well. So you get like a really, really broken down idea of exactly what person is engaging with your content in what way and what pages and everything. So it kind of gives you additional information, which is amazing. The next thing that we have is visitors, which is obviously how many unique visitors you're getting coming into your site every day. Conversion is how many people are going to, you know, sign up with you and who have, you know, decided that they want to make a purchase with you. And then there's all this is about Twitter and your social sharing. So the blue ones is just about social sharing. I just have a Twitter connected because I just want to show you guys kind of how this works. It's connected with my personal Twitter account, well, my work Twitter account. And so this is a Twitter builder. And Ivana, I don't know if you used the Twitter builder when you're on Spokal. Did you? Or
I did. I played around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
So why don't you show us how that works, because that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's one of these features that, like, we have a few clients that have signed up with us just to use Twitter builder. So it's like a pretty big deal, right? And all you do is, so I've just gone into Twitter builder there. You just select a target keyword that's related to your industry. So I have content marketing, small business here. I set those, and these are all paused because I was on holidays and I didn't want to get in trouble for using this. So you set these, and what happens is when someone on Twitter uses the keywords, so content marketing, small biz, or small business, we leave an impression on them by favoriting their posts. And sorry?
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it is really, really cool. And what happens is that a fraction of those people will follow you back. So you're engaging with people who are talking about your industry, and then they're actually following you as well. So this is a really good way to kind of get your social presence huge in a very, very short amount of time with a very, very small amount of work. So the only thing with this is that you have to make sure that you are actually actively using Twitter yourself. If you don't, Twitter will kind of kick you off and say that you're a bot, you know. So you have to be on Twitter a lot and using it. But it's basically the really keystone of this software, and a lot of people love this Twitter builder because it just drives engagement like crazy.
Oh, that's great, because I think that's where the relationship starts, right, with the engagement. I don't think that you guys address that, right? I mean, once you've started, this really is pure content marketing. This doesn't move into relationship management at all, right? I mean, you're building your engagement, you're interacting with them on Twitter or any type of social media, and then how you move them through your funnel or your selling cycle, that's a separate activity, correct?
Except for we nurture leads in terms of like that we track them, and that we will keep an eye on what they're doing and how they're engaging with your content, and then that information we hand to you, and then it's obviously up to you and how you nurture that and how you build that relationship further. So, you know, like if, for example, someone might be looking at your pricing page, and we will have that information for you, and you can kind of target them and specifically send them an email, or a group of people are looking at your pricing page, and you can target that group of people and send them an email being like, hey, here's this piece of content that might persuade you to continue your buying cycle, continue down the buying cycle. So that's where we would help with lead.
And where is it that is there like a report or something? So for those people, like let's say, I'm not using MailChimp or whatever, can you kind of show what that sort of looks like or something?
Well, this isn't
or engage. I know you don't have a lot of that data in there, probably.
Yeah, exactly. I'd have to go into our MailChimp or Spokal MailChimp and show you that, which I don't know if I'm allowed to do.
Right. I get it. No, not a problem. But like, I mean, go to the part about that you just said. Spokal will tell you, maybe that's on the analytics side or something. Spokal will tell you where people have been on your page and what they've been looking at. Is that correct?
Yeah, right. So you have the contacts here. Obviously, I don't have any contacts. Again, this is a test account. So you go to your contacts here, and you can literally just scroll through your contacts and look at exactly what they've been doing. So you can see it here, Spokal lead generator, sign up, and then you can configure MailChimp and active campaign, and then we'll send that score to them.
That's definitely something worth looking at, right? So if you are a small business and you want to know, and you know what, this strikes me, I actually have a couple of clients who are like startups and manufacturers, and it strikes me that this would be really useful for a business like that because, A, they can't afford like a HubSpot, but they do want to get analytics about like what products are there, are people looking at on their website, what products are they interested in, and they want to reach out to those people. So if you landed on widget X, that contact name would be on there, and actually that client uses MailChimp, so this would be like an ideal thing for them.
Yeah, so exactly. So it's as simple as going in there, putting the Spokal lead generator up on your site through the widgets. Like, it's literally just like click, drag and drop, and then you just you title it and you just kind of customize it to whatever you want. And once we get that contact, we'll just track them and what they're doing, and then you can see exactly here what they've been doing. So there is a list here, and it will tell you what emails they've opened, what emails they've opened and then clicked on if there's a link in there. It will tell you, the different pages that they've been on, and it will score them for you. So you can even use we call it a Spokal score, and you can use that to target other audiences, or other specific audience members. So you could say, if they have a Spokal score of 60, that's when you send out this specific email that will maybe encourage them to try a free trial, for example.
Got it. So talk a little bit more about what comes under there. You've got ranking pages. Talk a little bit about that. And these and link monitor. Is that what you were saying before about you can see what people have done?
Well, the link monitor is just who's linking to you.
Ah, got it.
So this is just for the test, obviously, again, so we don't have much going on here. But it will show you who's linking to your website. So it gives you an idea of, part of the, sorry, I'll go back to the dashboard and show you guys. Part of this is links linking to you. You'll see the 3 here. Mm-hmm. And again, the dashboard is about kind of pushing that data right in front of you when you go in. It's basically you cannot ignore how your website is doing when you go into it. But if you need more about that, so there's 3 links linking to me. I want to know who they are. I go to the link monitor, and I can find out who exactly is linking to this page.
Great.
Simple as, super easy. So that's that. And it's actually, I've used it so many times where, I've gone into the link monitor and I'm like, oh, okay, who's linking to me? And I've gone over and I've been like, thanks for including me, blah, 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 and opening that conversation up and, having this really nice kind of outreach. So that which is obviously really important, as you know, like networking is super important when you're marketing. So it's a really good way to kind of
And one of the things that's really important and yet really hard to do these days is this link building activity, because if you're building links, you're building authority for your site. Yeah. And at the same time, you can actually maybe even see the results. You know, don't get conned by people doing link building for you. I'm very anti that. You've got to get out there and do it yourself, whether it's through guest posting or, but I can see, like, if you use the Twitter builder and you build that relationship, maybe you're getting into guest posting or something, and then you can actually see if that's working for you.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So you can kind of see the funnel forming now, right? Where, so I don't even like to call it a funnel, because I think content marketing is much more complicated than a funnel. I think it's easy just to say, oh yeah, we throw everything in and hopefully they buy, you know. But it is a complex relationship, you know. And the Twitter builder, like you said, it's that kind of small reach out where you're just like, yep, I like what you're saying. You're talking about what I'm talking about. Hi, you know. And then you're kind of establishing that, and then you're creating great content. So you're saying hi, and then you're saying, oh, you know, if you want to come over and have a look at what I'm doing, feel free. You're not forcing anything. You're just kind of making those connections. And then they might come over, and if you're creating amazing content, they'll be like, oh, actually, this is great. And then hopefully they'll reach out and they'll say, hey, you're creating amazing content. Any chance you want to create amazing content for us as well? And then you get the guest posts and you get the links, and, you know, that's how it works. It's a very organic process in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so you also talked about A/B testing being something new that you were excited about. Why don't you, and that's right above the tab we're on, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I don't have any tests running, so it's not very useful for you, but yes, so it's super easy. When you go, I'll just show you how you do this, because it's absolutely, to be honest, I haven't tested much. Like I said, I'm not very technical. The only testing I've done is on emails. So, and I kind of an actress. I'm like, I really want to test headlines. You know, I love headlines. I think they're really important. And I spend so much time creating them, but I don't know what works because I'm just guessing. You know, I'm feeling around in the dark. I'm like, I hope people find this interesting. I don't know. So he finally brought out A/B testing, and I'm so excited. Like, you know, ridiculously excited. Like, I feel like this is Christmas. But so this is where you create your blog posts, right?
Right.
So you go in, and you simply press A/B test.
Ah, nice.
And that's it. That's all you do. So you write your, you know, ABC, blah, 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 and then you publish it, and then you go back to your A/B tests in this tab, and you can actually look at the results. So it'll show you the Twitter, or yeah, it'll show you how many people have clicked on the title through social sharing, and it'll show you how many people have shared it on social platforms. And it uses both of those things to kind of tell you which one is winning. And which is really interesting, at 95%, if one of them is winning by 95%, so if one of them is the clear winner, there's no doubt, and statistically the other one has just not done anything for you.
Yeah, and it's kind of doing, and I'm assuming it's kind of acting the way Google acts, right? So at first it's sort of like 50-50, which title pops up, and then after that, like the one that's the better title is the one they see most often, and then it just becomes a runaway.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. So it just becomes something that it's quite obvious then. And what Spokal does is once we get to that point, which I believe it's 95%, and then statistically it's just the obvious winner, you know. Once it goes to that point, Spokal will stop sending out the second headline, the loser, and will only send out the winner for you. So that's really good as well. You don't have to do anything, you know.
Great, that's awesome. So what is a C&C, which is right above A/B test?
This is okay. As a content marketer, this is the best tool ever, right? It is called C&C. It stands for Convince and Convert. And it's basically a way, I'm not going to say stalk, because stalk isn't a good word, but you follow your competition.
Correct.
And so you add the organizations there. I don't even know. Say I'm going to add you.
Okay. Because we all know who you really want to add.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm following them, which is you. And then I'll look at negative sentiment. So there's nothing yet because I've just added it there. And I will look at all the tweets that have some negative sentiment or negative words in it. And I can kind of look at that and use it to my advantage, which sounds worse than it is, but this is marketing, so it's a cutthroat world.
So wait a minute. So where you put the organization name,
Yeah.
which would be like a competitor or some other, like whatever. In other words, negative sentiment is going to tell you what negative statements are being made about that company that contain that organization name.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Exactly. So when people are tweeting with that organization name, which, you know, is at DIY Marketers or at
Like put somebody fun in there, like, you know, maybe like Nationwide Insurance or like somebody giant or McDonald's. Like, actually, McDonald's has had that big thing with the new ad.
Mm-hmm. It won't show up straight away.
Oh, I see. It'll take time. Oh, excellent. That means people could be saying nasty things about me.
I know, and you won't see it, right? But yeah, so you go into negative sentiment, and it literally just, a lot of the times it's not like super bad. Like they're just like, they might use the word no or don't, and that will kind of get highlighted for you, which isn't very helpful. But sometimes you get amazing things, and like one example is that one of our competitors, somebody tweeted them saying, you know, you're sending so many emails, I just unsubscribed. I was just getting saturated with these emails. So then I went ahead and I created some content about email subscriptions and how not to get people to unsubscribe. So, you know, I used one of their weaknesses as an advantage for myself, which is, like I said, it sounds awful, but it's, you know, it's the way the world works, right? You're not doing something right. Let me show you how to do it, you know?
No, I really like that, and actually, I like the way you stated that, which is, it really isn't stalking or lurking. It really is just watching what's out there and then using that as an idea generator.
Exactly, and just finding out how you can kind of give a better service as well, which is really important. And that's what kind of popular content as well. It just follows like oh, there you go. It's starting.
Oh, there I am.
I'll only show the popular. But yeah, the popular content. So what you're getting a lot of retweets for, which you can see here. And then, you know, obviously I wouldn't do this for you, but I would maybe look at that and think, oh, that's doing really well. Is there any way that I can do this better? Can I improve of something that's working for somebody else?
Right.
Sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's like really, really great, and you're like, okay, can't compete with that. But at other times you're like, no, I can see a way that I can use this for my specific audience that would work better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really amazing place to generate ideas. Like if you're, especially with content marketing, like you're creating so many, you know, blog posts and white papers and case studies and emails. Sometimes you just run out of ideas. But this always keeps you something going, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean that really does answer the question. So you know, actually, and maybe we could just take a moment and you know how you're saying you can start to see the funnel taking form. I think that's really important. Let's take a moment and maybe we can kind of review how people might be looking at this. Like, I mean, let's say, for example, you are managing your content, right? And you might be wanting to think about maybe on your content calendar, let's say February's coming up, so you're going to do something about love and relationships, right?
Okay.
So you're going to, like, you go into the dashboard and you're like, okay, what's happening overall, right? You know what I'm saying? You've kind of given us a little demo, but I sort of want to teach people, you know, what does it look like every single day? Like, you come in and you look at your Spokal and you're like, okay, what's happening? I've had, like, so many, you know, so many people signed up, and once I see that, maybe I would go into the content and convert or relationship, or, you know, wherever I can see, like, what page were they on, what were they looking at? Is that kind of how it works? Do I have it generally correct? Like, oh.
So the idea is, like, when you're creating content, you want to do research, right? And there's so many ways to do research, and one is the convince and convert that I just showed you there, and that's researching your competitors. But the second thing is the actual keyword research, which is really important.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one of two ways that I would do this. It would either be my convince and convert, or I would go to my keywords. So I'm going to show you the keywords. So I don't know if you do a lot of keyword research yourself, or
You know, keywords are the bane of my existence, right? I have a couple keywords that I like, and then, like, let's say creative marketing ideas. That's a keyword I like.
okay. So we add the keyword in here, and we search, and we get a whole bunch of different keyword ideas around that keyword.
Mm-hmm.
So you would go through these and kind of say which ones you like, which ones you don't like. So you like this one, and then we get some more inspired keywords.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So you'd go through this, and you kind of take, idea is just super general.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Stuff like this. So you just kind of go through this, and you're like, no, I'm not going to have ideas as a keyword. And after you do that, so you have a whole bunch of keywords here, and you're like, oh, these are all great. These are all amazing ideas. This is what people are searching when they're searching creative marketing ideas. This is what people want. So you go through that.
Now, where it says where the score, the little table there is red. Some of them are yellow and orange, and some of them are red. Yeah. I'm assuming there's a green one, and none of these have green ones.
Yeah. So that means, the ideal is that you're looking for a keyword that a lot of people are searching for, but there isn't a lot of information on it. So a lot of people are searching for, I don't know, I can't think of anything right now. Okay, so marketing automation software in Vancouver, but nobody's written about it. So that's amazing, right? But what we have here is orange is just okay, so it's not amazing. We could do words, yeah. So that just means that there's either nobody searching for them, or, which is more likely with ideas for small businesses, there's just a lot of content written on it.
Yeah.
The place is saturated with it. So if you write on any of these topics, the chances are you're not going to rank in Google search engine, so no one's. So when you go to the red, you can see promotional ideas, ad ideas.
Yeah, most of these, like, you're really looking for green. And if you have no green, what do you do?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to find something else. Maybe.
Yeah, so you might do creative business ideas instead, for example.
Look, we got some green.
Okay, so that's great. So again, you just go and you look through them, like business card design, like that might be relevant. But your green ones are the ones that you really, really, really want to look at. So starting a small business, that means, like, that's an amazing keyword to have, and it's green. That means, like, people want to know about it, and there's not a lot of content there. You swoop in and create that content, and you're going to rank in the first page of Google keywords, of the search engines, which is what you want to do. You want to be seen, right? So
right.
By writing on a green keyword, you're going to be seen. Or the chances are quite likely that you're going to be seen. We can't ever guarantee that it will work out this way, but that's the idea, is that you have a lot less competition when you're working with a green keyword.
Got it. Yeah, I really love that. That's a great research idea. And then, of course, you can go straight into just like writing your blog post, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, limited account again. Yeah, normally you can just kind of click on the idea and you can go straight to it, and then, so we have blog keywords there, and this would come up. So here we go.
And then, right from the thing, where are you at? You're at blog and blog keywords. Okay, great.
Blog keywords. So you've created all that in your research. You've done the manage keywords, and you've put your campaigns in, and it's all looking good. And you've gotten rid of the red ones. These won't be here because you've deleted them.
Right.
Even here. Sorry.
Yeah, I got it. That's great.
Yeah. So, and then you can kind of play with the score, and you can, put the best ones first so that you're concentrating on that. So starting a small business, let's blog about it. And even better, it puts it in the title for you, and it puts it in the keyword here. So over here, you have your real-time SEO.
Mm-hmm.
The keyword there, and it will make sure that you're using that keyword enough so that you're ranked, but not too much so that you are considered spam.
Got it.
So that's kind of what the process would look like usually, especially if you're using.
And then, so let's also talk about how you, so now you've written your blog post, and now you're going to schedule it out on social media. How does that work?
So, yeah, how to blah, 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 blah. This little calendar here.
I guess it's like, you know how once your blog post is written, and now you're going to, like, schedule how you want it to publish, where, blah, blah, that whole thing.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to be very, very specific about it, and you want it to look a certain way, you would go here. So how to blah, 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 blah. Maybe you want to put something extra here. This is your Twitter. So you might put something here. You might put a hashtag, because we all know that, tweets with hashtags get more conversions. So you might want to do that. I'm not connected with Facebook or LinkedIn, but if you were connected with Facebook or LinkedIn, you'd actually have an option here as well to change how your Facebook or LinkedIn posts look like.
Mm-hmm.
You press done, and then all you have to do is go into the calendar and click on the day that you want to post. So say we want to post on Monday at 9 a.m.
And now that post is scheduled.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then we go into the calendar, and maybe it's taking a little bit of time, but, oh no, it's there. So on Monday we have it scheduled to be posted and to go out on Twitter.
Great. And so now you can really see, and that's one thing that I really loved about this, you can see your whole content calendar in play and when things are being promoted. So for those people who are really visual, I love this feature.
And that's it. And most people are visual. And what's amazing about this is it won't even just go out once if you don't want it to. Like, if you want to do more than that, you turn this on. And so for every new blog post I publish, automatically schedule the following tweets. So within the first 24 hours, you might want to tweet it twice. Within the first week, you might want to do it once, or maybe the first 6 days. One per week for the next 12 weeks, and then one per month for the next 6 months. So
I love that. That is also a great feature. And what's really good is that it's paired up with the blog post.
Yeah, exactly. So you're constantly kind of like, you're never forgetting about a piece of content unless you want to forget about it. But like, you're constantly kind of reusing that content and posting it and getting it in front of people's eyes, and it's never forgotten about, so you're always using that content. It's not, oh, I posted it once, and then after I post the next one, we forgot about it. It's not. You're still going to see that being scheduled and shared on your calendar up until 6 months. And you can even add a new time slot. You can even have more than that, so.
That's great. And so let's really talk about maybe how you guys have done this to build, how have you guys used this tool to get new prospects, new clients, and new relationships, or how does that work for you? How have you used it to do that?
So what we do is that we have a lot of new time slots here. We have about 8 different time slots, and we just schedule our posts in our calendar. What we do really is that we have a really good content schedule. We make sure that we post twice a week. That's our schedule. And we just always do that. So we're very consistent, which is really, really important. And we, our best blog posts have been ones that I have done a lot of keyword research on, and we rank quite well in Google for. So it's all about just, doing the research, getting the keywords that people are actually looking for into your blog posts, having a really good publishing schedule. So that's just about kind of tweaking these and playing with these and seeing what works for you. So for example, we know that 9 a.m. on Mondays works really well for us. So we might, schedule that for 9 a.m. on Mondays, that we always have something going out. And then we just kind of, we have the Twitter builder there as well. We have the A/B test, and we have the analytics, and we would look at all that, especially the analytics, and see what's working and see what's not. And and we would just do a lot of social sharing, a lot of conversations as well. Like the thing is with like content management systems, like they're amazing for creating the content and putting it out there, but in the end, like after that happens, it's really up to you to start conversations with people. And yeah, I personally, I love talking to people, so I start a lot of conversations with people and just yeah, and just use this as kind of like something that's always happening. So it's kind of like, because this is always happening, I don't have to always be doing it, and I can spend my time actually having conversations with people. So this is always at work, and this like standard publishing or standard kind of social sharing is at a really high standard, which is amazing, and I don't have to do anything. I have it there all ready to go out, and that the time that I've saved doing that is spent actually having amazing conversations with people, guest posting, creating amazing downloadable templates for people who sign up to our email list or whatever it is,
Right. So this is what you're using to develop good content, share good content, and start the conversation, because I think that's what people sometimes struggle with, the starting the conversation, right? They develop all kinds of content, but you hear this all the time, but then it like disappears, it gets lost. But this is a tool that could help you get the content out there and start the conversation. And then once you've started the conversation, then you're sort of off through your own selling cycle.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, and the thing about marketing automation, I love it. Like, the start of this, like, marketing automation is amazing, and it's like such a useful tool, but it's not about setting it and forgetting it, and it's not about being a robot. In the end, it takes a human behind this marketing automation to make it work, and it means about, like, this is an amazing way. It's kind of that push you need to kind of reach your hand out and say hello to people, but after that hand is reached out, you need to take up that mantle and kind of start those conversations and keep them going.
I love this. So all of you folks who have been drooling over, dare I say, HubSpot or some of these other tools that have been out of reach, this is one that's completely within reach. And if you're overwhelmed by too many plugins, and hey, can I just say, if you have a website that's been going down because you have too many plugins, this might actually be a solution, right? Because it's like one plugin.
Yeah, that's it exactly. It's like not a whole bunch of things to think about. This is just one plugin that you use that does all the things that those 50 plugins do,
Exactly. No, you know what? And you opened my eyes to a couple of things that I really wasn't sure about how they worked. Now I'm just waiting for Aweber, so keep me posted, because I tell you, a lot of people want to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, there you guys have it. We've had Sarah Burke here from Spokal, who showed us how to create awesome content, generate conversations, develop leads, and make sales. It's really awesome, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Ivana. It was so much fun.